Hey everyone, in my last video I did a little bit of programming, nothing too fancy, but while I was talking about programming, I realized something kinda embarrassing. I only know about two words in Spanish for anything related to computer science and programming. Just informática and código. That's it. And I thought, okay, if I ever want to talk about programming or tech in Spanish, that's not going to cut it. So, in today's video, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to learn some Spanish vocabulary for the world of tech, programming, informatics, and I'm bringing you along with me. Let's see how many words I can learn today. I did ask ChatGPT beforehand for a list of relevant words. I will show you what words the AI chose. In this video, I'll be sharing a bunch of useful Spanish words and phrases related to programming, computer science, and technology in general. If you're learning Spanish and you're into tech coding, this is for you. Let's learn these words together. And if you're a Spanish speaker learning English in the same area, maybe this can help you too. Alright, first up, general words for tech. Okay, informatica, that's the one I already know. It means computer science or informatic. Then we have technologia, technologia, and it's technology. That's pretty simple. Then we have computadora y ordenador for computer in Latin American and Spanish. I did know these two. I just didn't realize that. That's also kind of a good sign. I didn't have them in the same context, kind of. Then we have this sistema for system. That's I also use that word. I already used it in my last video, but I didn't thought about. Again, I didn't thought that it was part of informatic. But continue. Usuario. 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 User. Yeah, that's kind of similar, but not exactly. Hardware and software are the same. Okay, that's also a good one. Then we have programming concepts. With code, that's already one I knew. Then we have programmer, to program. Okay, yes, that's Programmation, programming. Now I'm confused. Programmation, programming. Programmer to program. Okay, programmation, programming. Then we have lingua de programación. Yes, programming language, that's kind of a given. Then we have, what's that? Desarrollador? Desarrolladora. Okay, developer. That's, I can't find a connection right there. Desarrollador. I also have to look up how that's pronounced because I'm thinking I'm messing up the word. But okay, I will look up that later. And I will continue the list with the rest. Then we have application, application app. Yeah, I didn't know that. Then we have depurar, debugger. Okay, debugger is kind of a Spanish-English word mix. So Spanglish? Is it Spanglish? I think it's Spanglish. Then we have an arrow or a bug. That's the same. Executor, to run. Yeah, it's basically to execute. So that's makes sense. Compile, to compile. Okay, it's kind of similar. Function, that's the same. Variable, that was a very bad pronunciation. It's the same. Then we have a cyclo boucle for loop. Cyclo boucle. Okay, it's a circle, I think. Condition. Condition. That's also easy win for English speaker. Then we have algoritmo for algorithm. Yeah, okay, that's the same. Then in data and structure, we have dato for data. Then we have base de datos, a database. Yeah, that's kind of two in one. Then we have a lista for list. Isn't lista also ready to be ready? I think it's also. Then we have matrix, a matrix, or an array. Array. So the matrix, I can remember that, but the arreglo, again, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing correctly. That is I'm not sure if I can remember that. But anyway, continuing. Diccionario, a dictionary, yeah, that's the same word for a dictionary for words and so. Then we have estructura, a structure. That's also kind of a given, just the E in the front. Well, continuing with internet and web. We have that's a confusing one. We have red for network. That's oh, I think I already heard that red is network. But again, I think it's so confusing that red is network. So Spanish red is in English network. I find it confusing. Then we have internet, it's the same. We have servidor, it's a server, cliente, client, navigator. So a navigator, that's a browser. That's a good one. I think I can remember that with no effort. Then we have sitio web, página web for website. I think that's also kind of a given for a web page, website, página web. I'm just curious why it's not página, why it's página web and not page of the web. But I'm I'm not thinking too much about that. Then we have contraseña. Contraseña. That's a confusing one, I think. It means password, but I'm not seeing anything yet that clicks for me for these words together. Then we have seguridad, security. That's kind of a half easy one because the first part is the same, basically. Then we have encryption, encryptation, okay. Then accesso, and authorization. If I speak the word a little more English that they should be. I'm sorry. I'm sometimes kind of have a hard time switching between dialects. So if I'm talking English and then only use one Spanish word, it's kind of messing with my pronunciation. It's sometimes also the same with English and German. So, but anyway, we are moving on to tools and frameworks. So we have a development environment. That's entorno de desarrollo. Entorno de desarrollo. Okay, then we have a text editor. That's editor de texto. That's the easy one. It's basically just switched around. And there it is. It's not editor texto, it's editor de texto. That's what I meant for the web page, website. Then we have a terminal and a console. And in terminal is the same in Spanish, and consola is the console. Then we have repository, and we have in Spanish, it's basically the same. Repositorio, so it's not it's an O at the end. Then we have version control, control de versiones. Yeah, that's also same like the text editor, just switch and pack a D that's between them. And then we have Git, and that's the same Git. Probably pronounced differently, but it's the same word. And I'm kind of, my brain tries to get the words, and I'm not that concerned about pronunciation. So I'm learning the words first, and if they're in my brain, the writing, then I'm trying to learn the pronunciation, because the pronunciation sometimes messes with my head and I'm kind of confusing the writing. So I'm learning that way. Then we have bonus phrases. It's very nice from ChatGPT to give us bonus phrases. Now, we have estoy a... Okay, that's just, I'm learning to program in Spanish. I should read the phrases first. I may have used half of the sentence. So programmer is basically a new word, but the rest is estoy aprendiendo a programar en español. And the next is just to ask for a word, como se dice loop in español, so that's also not really relevant only for informatics. It's for everything you want to know, to ask. Then, este código tiene un error. Yes, this phrase every programmer, everyone who writes code knows this phrase all too well, and knows this phrase is a very important one, because the code has basically always an error. There's always an error. But anyway, este código tiene un error. I can remember that. That's quite simple. And then we have, I'm debugging my program. Estoy depurando mi programa. So the depurando is the new word. The rest is already existing in my brain. Depurando. But we also had another word. So we can also say, what was it? Debugger? Is it the no? Wait, what? Dibugo? Dibugio? Dibu. I'm actually red. I'm not sure about the conjugation of this verb. Well, anyway, estoy depurando mi programa. So that's the last sentence we are going to take a look at. And that's basically my first round through the vocab. I'm just reading them. I'm just trying to connect them in my brain and see if I already have some existing words I can kind of link them with, or if I have a picture for them. So for text editor, I just have in my brain kind of a text editor, and I'm just switch. How do I explain that? I'm just in my brain. I'm just switching the compounds of the editor to basically turn around. So I know that the text editor is the other way around in Spanish, and editor de texto. Like I said, I'm not sure how I can explain that better. It's how my brain works. And as an example for a picture in my brain. And after these words are kind of fixed in my brain, I'm then moving on to the pronunciation on the kind of building phrases phase. But that doesn't mean I don't use the or try using the vocabs in a sentence while going through the list. Because if I'm going through the list and I'm at the first moment I'm seeing a word and my brain is like, there is a sentence I can use it in this moment, then I'm going to try use it in this context and find a sentence. But if my brain doesn't want to find a sentence for this word, then I'm not that concerned about it until I'm done with the list. And until I'm heard the pronunciation once or looked up rules for conjugating a verb or so. Honestly, I love this. I feel like I just leveled up a bit. Okay, I think that's a solid start. I went from knowing 2 Spanish words in this area to maybe around 30. Although I did know before without realizing there are part of this area. If you're also learning Spanish, or if you're a Spanish speaker learning English, drop a comment with your favorite tag word below. I will try adding more in future videos. Maybe next time I will try to write a little script in Spanish. Thanks for learning with me. Hasta luego.